Pulp Fiction opened the New York Film Festival in September. It stars John Travolta, Samuel Jackson, Uma Thurman, Bruce Willis, and Harvey Keitel. And we are pleased to have the director right here, Quentin Tarantino. Thank you for coming.
Is Quentin Tarantino, who has directed only 2 films, a one-man new wave, or just the flavor of the month?
It's a cult, really, around Quentin, and it's happened so quickly.
Right now, things are absolutely fantastic, but I intend to have like hopefully a 30-year career. The real test of time isn't the Friday that it opens. It's how the film is thought of 30 years from now.
Amsterdam, 1992. Quentin Tarantino seeks inspiration for his second film.
All right, well, you can walk into a movie theater in Amsterdam and buy a beer.
So you went to write Pulp Fiction, you went to Amsterdam?
Yeah, I started there, yeah.
When you're alone and life is making...
So what kind of research were you doing in Amsterdam?
Well, it wasn't so much
downtown.
It's hard to describe how broke I was through all of my 20s. I've always wanted to go to Europe, and now I'm going to go. But I'm going to go for a while.
Just listen to the...
And so that's where I just started writing. So they had no connection about Amsterdam and writing. It was just a place to live and have this really wonderful experience. But everything that's ever going on with me, whatever I'm writing, will find its way into the material.
Marcella said you just got back from Amsterdam.
Sure did.
In the case of Pulp Fiction, the starting off point was the idea of doing a crime film anthology.
I was going to do 3 crime stories.
But have the same group of characters floating in and out.
But the real inspiration for Pulp Fiction came many years earlier.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Mario Bava became one of the first directors that I got to know by name because I saw Black Sabbath on late-night television.
This is Black Sabbath.
When I saw Pulp Fiction with a little boy just watching the TV, kind of being alone in this big room and the TV being his friend, and to me, that's Quentin.
It's hard to go back to the very beginning because I always remember loving movies.
My mom was really young, and my parents were really young, so movies were about the only thing that they could afford to do.
Actually, my parents said, well, he's going to be a director someday and everything. I didn't know what that was. I wanted to be an actor because when you're a little kid and you want to be involved in movies, so you say, well, I want to do what they do.
Oh, man. I give the watch to you.
With his newly discovered purpose, Quentin set his priorities straight.
Yeah, I quit school when I was 15 or 16. I always wanted to be an actor at that time.
I had kind of this like weird tunnel vision. Once I got into it, I didn't have room for anything else.
And I was horrible in school and couldn't do anything in school, but I'd go see a movie and I knew every actor in it, I knew the name of the director, I knew the name of the producer and the writer, and I just started getting an encyclopedic knowledge about that stuff. At age 16, I got a job as a usher at the Pussycat Theater, which was a cinema. I mean, full-on, XXX.
And then I kind of just went through like a bunch of little phone sales job and this little stupid job here and that little stupid job there until eventually, like around age 22, I got a job at a place called Video Archives. Hi, I'm Quentin Tarantino, and this is Video Archives.
And it really was a movie lover's heaven. It was really terrific. I was a customer there, and I really liked it. And eventually he asked me if I wanted a job. You know, some people think, oh, so that's where you learned your knowledge about movies. I go, no, I was already a movie expert. That's how I got hired at Video Archives.
I always got a kick out of talking to Quentin because he was so opinionated about everything under the sun.
The video store was sort of like my college.
It was a great time. We were always watching movies, and the store was completely like, it was like a clubhouse. You know, we're making minimum wage, all right? So, you know, we almost, in order to survive, you had to work like, double shifts, like 3 every week, from opening to close, just to make enough money to live. But we were having a great time.
But it was just eventually at a certain point I realized I didn't just want to be in movies. I wanted to make movies. I came to the realization that I am a filmmaker, and I act pretty good. But what I really want to do is make movies.
There are countless hobbies one can do alone. You could tend a garden, bake brownies, or pick up birdwatching. Robbing a bank is not one of those hobbies. Luckily, it doesn't have to be this way. Dodford here just needed a different one-man operation. With Shopify, you can start, grow, and manage your business entirely on your own. Avoid the complexities of managing products, finance, and marketing. Build an online store, track sales, and manage content all from Shopify's easy-to-use back office. That's more like it, isn't it? Now, Dodford can launch his own products without any of that drama. Shopify is a commerce platform powering millions of businesses every day. Join now for a free trial at shopify.com/Dodford. Maybe Quentin could have done with it.
Because you have to understand, Quentin was so broke, really broke, just not a cent to his name.
By 91, Quentin had tried and failed to get several film scripts off the ground. But when all looked hopeless...
And by this time, it looked like True Romance was gonna sell. So it looked like I was gonna have like $30,000. And so I decided, well, I'm gonna write a film to do for $30,000. Shoot it in 12 days, $30,000, 16 millimeter, black and white, you know, starring some friends, and I will have a movie made and finished.
And Quentin wouldn't sell this one. Reservoir Dogs was his. But he'd need some help.
By this time, I had met Lawrence, and Lawrence was a real godsend.
Vincent.
I came over to his place and I read the script. Obviously, I flipped over it. It was an extraordinary piece of writing.
Vincent, we happy? Yeah, we happy.
Lawrence was an actor too. And his teacher's wife goes to the actor studio with Harvey Keitel. So he got the script to his teacher. His teacher read it, liked it, gave it to his wife. She read it, she liked it, she put it in Harvey's hands.
And then the next thing we knew, Harvey called us up on the phone.
I contacted Lawrence Bender and Quentin. We had many conversations. I told them I was committed to making the movie.
He loved it. Not only did he want to do it, he wanted to help us get it made.
Having a decent script was one thing, but to turn words into scenes, that needed cash.
Oh, when we started casting, we didn't have any money.
A $5 shake.
Did you just order a $5 shake?
And Harvey was like involved in the casting process and everything. And what he did was he said, look, we should go to New York. And I'm like, well, Harvey, this is really good, but we can't afford to go. We didn't have any money. I was like, broke, and the producer was broke. Well, I just can't stand this anymore. We're gonna have to go to New York. If I have to pay for it, I'll pay for it. We're gonna have, a weekend of New York casting. And he paid all that out of his own pocket. Because he thought, the film needed it.
God damn, it's a pretty fucking good milkshake.
All of a sudden, we weren't just a couple of kids anymore with a film, with a script like everyone else had. We actually had Harvey Keitel.
I made the assumption that whoever could have written this must be an intelligent, articulate person. So if he wrote this, you'd have to give him a shot to direct it.
You have any moment of doubt that you could deliver, that you were ready to deliver?
I think you always do have, like, as far as like when, okay, you've got the job.
Yeah,
now I got to do it.
Now, who will be our first contestants?
Right here.
Quentin shot listed the picture from beginning to end before we got into real full pre-production. Then we cast the movie. And he was really nervous right before casting. But after the first person coming in the room, he realized there was nothing to be nervous about.
Drinks, music.
Quentin was beginning to trust his instincts. Enough to make a decision that would raise some eyebrows.
Why Travolta?
Well, I've always thought that John Travolta is one of the greatest movie stars. John Travolta was so huge when he came out.
Brian De Palma's Blowout. I think it's one of the greatest movies ever made. John Travolta, by the way, gets one of the best performances of all time in this movie.
Love you so much, can't count on the
We did a piece about him in the Los Angeles Times.
He's not your kind.
About, whatever happened to John Travolta, kind of what's happened to him now. But they interviewed Pauline Kael, and they asked her, do you think John can ever come back? And she goes, he has to. Movies need him.
91. Quentin had a script, cast, and a budget. Now he had to put them all together.
You're Mr. Pink, and we're going to be...
He had, I forget how many men are in the movie now, 6 or 8 or something.
Here are your names. Mr. Brown, Mr. White.
That's the tricky part about doing like an ensemble piece like this, because you put together 6 actors.
There's the blondes.
And he had these 6 or 8 different styles of acting and different personalities.
One guy needs a lot of rehearsal, another guy doesn't like any rehearsal at all.
There's the blue, there's the orange, there's the pink.
Quentin won their confidence and their trust from day one.
Deal with each of them as individuals. Some directors will like, this is my way of working with actors, and boom, and everyone has to adjust to him.
My way or the highway.
And I think that's just ego.
Reservoir Dogs just turned up in the catalog of the Sundance Film Festival.
And so from Sundance, Miramax picked up the movie, and the heat really spread. And
there is a new filmmaker, it said, who has exploded and who has a signature that is distinctly his own.
Come on, girl. We're getting out of here. We gotta walk now. If I'm sitting at home and I'm imagining I'm, the husband of some young couple, and we're just sitting there and thinking, well, what do you want to see tonight, honey? You want to see Forrest? You want to see Forrest Gump? You want to see, well, what's that? Well, that's the movie where Tom Hanks plays the retarded guy and, meets John F. Kennedy. Or, oh, okay, well, what else? Well, you want to see Clear and Present Danger? Well, what's that? Well, that's the new Harrison Ford movie. Or you want to see Reservoir Dogs? What's that? Well, that's the movie where the guy gets his ear cut off,
The film got a lot of remarks because of the violence in it.
Right.
All right.
And there were quite a few walkouts at the predictable ear scene. And all the walkouts were women, and so it was obvious that this is a film that would have its die-hard adherents, as well as people who just couldn't take it.
Hey, what's going on?
Reservoir Dogs, the ear cutting off scene. People went on about how shocking it was. I mean, I thought it was brilliantly done because you don't see anything. And that's what was so good about it. And yet people describe it as if they saw it. They thought it was gratuitous.
And in a way, they were kind of like I always kind of took it as a big compliment because I know the film isn't that violent, all right? It's
so why is it a compliment?
Because I did it well. I mean, like the scenes I got.
Well, in other words, they thought it was more violent than it was.
Like, I thought it was far more violent than it was.
Larry, stop pointing that fucking gun at my dad!
Isn't it a bit of an albatross having such a big hit on your hands so soon?
No, I don't think it's an albatross around my neck at all, having a successful first film. You want to have a successful film.
As good for you as it was for me.
People talk about the sophomore jinx. People talk about, oh, how are you ever going to follow this up and everything? Well, I don't even think about that at all right? Because one, I know what the next movie I'm going to do is.
Reservoir Dogs was Tarantino's directorial debut.
What the fuck was I talking about?
But it wasn't really his first attempt.
It's around 22, 23. I decided, well, you know what? I'm going to make a film.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Right. First day on the job, you were great.
So I started making this movie.
What were we talking about?
You're as cold as ice.
And it was a film called My Best Friend's Birthday. It was a comedy. Except it's for my best friend, Mickey. Yeah, it's his birthday.
And I proceeded to work on that movie for about 3 years. Basically financing it completely myself from a minimum wage job.
I mean, I couldn't believe it.
I would get $200 or so, and then we'd go off and shoot for the weekend. And then we'd run out of money, and then I would go back to work again, and then eventually I would just keep piecing it together.
And I thought we were making something really special. Going okay? Come see.
Guess what? What? I did not have at all what I thought I had.
Oh, fuck's happening now? Oh, man.
Oh, man, I shot Marvin in the face.
Why the fuck you do that?
How was it different?
It was amateurish.
Yeah.
You look like shit. Funny, I feel like diarrhea.
It was real, and not in a charming way either.
It had no charm.
But no charm at all.
You went over a bump or something.
Hey, the guy ain't hit no motherfucking bump. I am in hell!
Oh my God, this was just all for nothing. And I'm kind of gonna be a laughing stock. I got nothing to show for all this work.
I felt depressed for no reason whatsoever. Just this dark cloud hanging over my head.
It's shit like this that's gonna bring this situation to a head, man. Your ass is wrapped and
However, the stuff I did in the first, say, year and a half or 2 years, well, that was the really student filmy amateur stuff.
You won't fuck my shit up. You're fucking my shit up right now.
Oh, man. I will never forgive your ass for this shit. This is some fucked up, repugnant shit.
Who are you?
But the stuff I had done in the last year.
He is really strong.
That wasn't bad. It was pretty good.
Really mean.
There was a genuine, definite progression.
Really jealous.
But the thing is, though, it was like this was going to be the thing that like set me up, all right? And I'd worked 3 years on it, and I was able to look at it in a realistic way after being horribly depressed for a little bit, but only a short little bit.
And wait for the wolf. You sending the wolf?
Yeah, but I have a foot fetish, so it kind of evened itself out.
I'm with the wolf. Solve problems.
This was my film school, all right? And this was the best film school a person could possibly have.
So, pretty please, with sugar on top. Clean the fucking car.
I actually, instead of like going to school and paying a ton of money to be allowed to use some of their crappy equipment, all right, I actually went out and actually tried to make a feature film.
I can't believe this is the same car.
Well, let's not start sucking each other's dicks quite yet.
My Best Friend's Birthday was the education Quentin needed for his first directorial success. But now, he faced the dreaded sophomore curse.
Hold it right there, goddammit.
When you look at like a filmmaker who's done 10 or 15 films and like, you know, wow, this work here is really exciting, and then at some point, it stopped being exciting. Either it was like the same old thing, or else they became hacks, or they just became, you know. Now, where did that happen?
I can't tell you how many times I've seen a guy's first film. I thought it was terrific and ran to the theater to see his second film. I said, what the hell was that? This is what's going to happen. They've overpraised my first film. They're going to undervalue my second film. They're going to like, I mean, you know, I don't think it's going to be rubbish. I think it's going to be a good film, but it's going to get less recognition.
It's tough to imagine now, but Pulp Fiction wasn't seen as a moneymaker. The studio thought this, and so did Quentin.
You know, people ask me from time to time, do you make a movie with an audience in mind?
Yeah.
And my answer is, yes, I do. All right, but the audience I have in mind isn't some faceless blobs that I'm trying to second guess. Right? It's me.
It's not like a focus group.
Yeah, it's me. I'm the audience.
Through all eternity.
The Palme d'Or goes to Pulp Fiction.
Oh, this is my song.
I was betting, and I was a little surprised at how many there were. I was betting that there are other people like me out there.
The Conwin, that's a big shield. And they're throwing bricks at me on general principle because my films are violent or this or that and the other. You're misunderstanding me. I'm not just about that. I'm about other things too.
Everywhere you go, people are talking about the upcoming film
Pulp Fiction, a close-up look at the incredible movie-making mind of
Quentin Tarantino.
Pulp Fiction, a surprise $200 million smash hit worldwide that earned 7 Oscar nominations and worldwide acclaim for its 32-year-old director, Quentin Tarantino.
You think we're obsessed with Tarantino and Pulp Fiction? This is just the tip of the iceberg. The information superhighway is just buzzing with worldwide discussions about every frame of this movie. Here are a couple of sample screens from the internet, the World Wide Web, where there are dozens of Tarantino areas. Thousands of messages about Pulp Fiction have been sent and received for months now from all over the world, and reflecting the conviction of some people that Pulp Fiction has an underlying spiritual message, the internet even has an online Church of Tarantino.
Pulp Fiction elevated Tarantino to a new level, but there were still questions on his longevity.
I think what's going to be interesting is whether he can develop beyond writing about movies and start writing about all of this stuff out here.
Where do you go now? I mean, do you have any sense of you've made the film and people are describing you as the hottest film director in America?
We all keep talking about this, I mean, friends and all. We keep talking, what's Quentin going to do next?
We may be asking, is there a danger here of too much too soon?
He's got to mature. He's got to stop being this cinema freak kid who is so clever and so wild, because it's the most dangerous thing that can happen to you, is to be successful within that system, because they want more of the same, and you can live in this totally fantasized world.
In the case of Quentin Tarantino, my diagnosis would be, Quentin, you are overextended.
She comes home from work in about an hour and a half. You can't bring him in the back because she's going to divorce me.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the doctor's prescription, you should slow down and take care of business.
That was you acting in the film as well. You have a nice role. Did you sleep with the director?
Yeah, well, I gave him a job.
In your case, business should mean writing and directing movies, not becoming a character actor and a talk show personality.
No, I've always had kind of a game plan and everything.
Yeah.
But it's like, right now, I don't know what it is I want to do now. I don't have a story that I'm burning to tell. And also, making a movie is really hard. I mean, when I was like a film geek and everything, I'd look at like Fassbender's career and go, now that's a career to have. Like, you know, 30 films in 10 years, the way to go. Then I made a film and go, you know what? Life's a little too short to do that. You know, it's like climbing a mountain. I don't want to climb another mountain right after I get through with everything. I want to like rest a little bit and then get up again.
Only 2 films in, Tarantino knew filmmaking is an endurance game because he gives everything to his scripts.
Taking genre characters and genre situations, have them sound like real people.
Man, I just been sitting here thinking.
About what?
About the miracle we witnessed.
Miracle you witnessed. I witnessed a freak occurrence.
Look, dialogue is the easiest thing in the world for me. And because it comes so easy, it's almost, I almost feel like it's not really mine, almost.
What is a miracle, Vincent?
The act of God.
Like, if there is such a thing as a God's gift or anything,
you should have this little voice inside of you saying, tell the truth.
That's one of the gifts he gave me.
When God makes the impossible possible.
Tell the truth, tell the truth. All right? Reveal a few secrets.
And the truth
here.
is your life experience.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do like the idea of a 10-film filmography. Especially a filmography where I've spent the last 30 years giving everything in the world that I have to it.
I'll have nothing. You really thinking about quitting?
Nothing to do. Life?
Yeah.
But just walk around. Most definitely.
Fuck.
Walk around heaven. Oh.
And then dropping the mic.
What's you gonna do then?
And saying, okay, that's it.
Basically, I'm just gonna walk the earth.
You say that you will do 10 films.
When I get to
Are you still willing to do 10 or you have more Tarantino for the world to give?
What you mean walk the earth?
You know, like Kane in Kung Fu. Walk from place to place, meet people, get in adventures.
I think it's still going to be 10. I mean, look, it could be 11.
There is an umbilical cord link from the 10th film to Reservoir Dogs.
It's about leaving a thoughtfully composed filmography.
And how long do you intend to walk the earth?
Till God puts me where he wants me to be.
There is this artistic intention that carried from the beginning all the way through the end.
And what if you don't do that?
If it takes forever, then I'll walk forever.
Together and walk around. And so now I like the idea of being more of a writer and just me and my pen and a piece of paper and just kind of dealing that way.
Rarely in our years on the movie beat has a new director become as hot, as fast as Quentin Tarantino.
One thing that I've done that I'm like the proudest of is the fact that people talk about, wow, you've had such success and it's just been so overnight and whatever. Whatever success I've got has come after like 8 years of just nothing working out.
He represents a moment in time. He's been called the first director who's a rock and roll star.
Pulp Fiction was the movie of the 90s, but it's so much more than that. It changed filmmaking forever.
In what way you see Pulp Fiction as changing the nature of your career?
Okay, I'll just say, I mean, it changed cinema.
Symbolized to me like the world has changed.
I mean, it changed every filmmaker I've ever met since.
And I remember thinking like, wow, like the world is different. Like sometimes you'll see a work of art, a something, and you'll say that thing just changed everything.
Are you still retiring?
Sure am.
So it all worked out in the finish.
We're not at the finish yet, baby.
You're not gonna get hurt. You don't need proof when you have instinct. I believe every fucking word because you're super cool. What happened here was a miracle, and I want you to fucking acknowledge it.
I always feel like I'm starting over.
Everything's the same except one little difference.
Silly Caucasian girl likes to play with samurai sword.
You know what happens to motherfuckers carry knives? They get shot.
You something, you rich? I think this just might be my mess.
You have my curiosity.
I like the way you bag, boy.
I like the way you die, boy. Now you have my attention.
No one said the job's supposed to be easy. No one said it's supposed to be that hard, neither.
It's official, old buddy. Who has been? You're Rick fucking Dalton. Don't you forget it.
The real test of time isn't the Friday that it opens. It's how the film is thought of 30 years from now.